Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, Shem Kakadash. Double honors once again go out to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, all right, who continue through the Spirit to give us His truth. This is Naaman from the DC camp, and I want to focus on today this article initially from the Hill. Uh, it says Biden administration to back bill ending crack powder cocaine sentence disparity report. All right. And upon initially seeing this, the question that quickly came to my mind was, why now? The timing and all this. And this is not the only thing, you just, in general, why all these gestures? They're empty, all right, because as in this case, the damage is irreparable, all right, it's done. So why go through this ceremony, if you will? It's a token gesture, just like everything else. Last week, this guy signs into law this token as Juneteenth, making it a holiday. Again, for what? Like I say, the damage is done. But our people eat stuff like this up. All right. It's just, it's empty. It means nothing. All right. They're never going to, don't you get it in your heads by now? They're never going to do anything substantive that's going to actually restore us. Number one, they can't. Number two, they don't want to. All right. And we keep, let me get the scripture while it's on my mind. We keep, as a people, this is the heading of this chapter here in Lamentations 4, it's distress of the siege described. And we have been under siege for hundreds of years. This is Lamentation chapter 4, verse 17. It says, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us, nor would they if they could. In our low estate, they make so much money off of us, so much money. And that's what a lot of our people just can't get through their heads. Slavery never ended for us. All right? The tactics just changed. The mind games, the chains are on our mind, not on our bodies. All right? Yet this is one of these cases where everybody but us can see this. All right? So you know these curses that we're under are real. All right? So much psychological damage has been done. All right. It goes into, it says the Biden administration is reportedly set to endorse legislation on Tuesday that aims to eliminate the sentencing disparity between crack and powder cocaine. Regina LaBelle, the acting director of the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, is reportedly planning to announce the administration's support of a bill that would remove the sentencing imbalance during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on Tuesday, according to the Washington Post. All right. The bill, dubbed the Eliminating a Quantifiable Unjust Application of the Law Act, I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh. All right. Or the Equal Act, would put an end to the disparity in sentencing for crack and powder cocaine and allow individuals who were convicted or sentenced for a federal cocaine offense to be re-sentenced. Wow. And see, so much attention is focused on the '94 Crime Bill Act, but that was like for lack of a better description, like just the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. There were others. There were the 91, let's see, 87, 81, 79, and 77. And all this came, as we understand it now, by way of via the Nixon administration. All right. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, like I said at the top, the damage is irreparable. They knew what they were doing. The current disparity is not based on evidence yet, has caused. What do you mean not based on evidence? So you mean, see, this is where you have to pay close attention to these devils and what they write and what they say. It says the current disparity is not based on evidence, yet has caused significant harm for decades, particularly to individuals, families, and communities of color. Oh, the continuation of this sentencing disparity is a significant injustice in our legal system. Oh, really? You just now realize that? And it is past time for it to end. And again, I'm reading this, I'm asking myself, why now? The timing of this, could it be that these sightings of so-called UFOs and other unexplainable things, at least in their eyes, all right, that are prompting them to, well, wait a minute, you know, we got these people here. Trust me, people, they know. The higher ups, they know. Don't fool yourself. The problem is the majority of our people, the vast majority of our people do not know. All right, and they're going to still go and pray to Jesus. And unfortunately, they're going to cling on to this system, you know, because they're still going to look to the guy that's been putting foot to our ass for centuries, as I just read there in that scripture, Lamentations. They're going to still look for this ratchet ass Edomite here to try to help them. It says, therefore, the administration urges the swift passage of the eliminating and quantifiably unjust application. I'm just going to say the, you know, Equal Act. All right. The administration's backing of the Equal Act is especially significant for President Biden, who played a role in establishing the sentencing disparity. The then senator in '86 crafted a bill that ultimately helped lead to the imbalance in the sentencing of crack and powder cocaine offenses. And as you should know by now, there was a reporter, oh, where was it? I believe the paper was called Sun Mercury Times or something like that. I forget exactly where it was. Was it Arizona or one of those states? And he uncovered the fact that it was the CIA bringing drugs in, and they were purposely putting them in our communities. And then you got this bastard. He even said, they've got him on video saying he doesn't care how we got to be like this, referencing the crack cocaine epidemic and the crime, that the violence that resulted. He just wanted us off the streets. All right. You know, and this all ties into, you know, under Reagan, where you had the, at this particular time, in the mid-'80s, the Sandinistas, the Iran-Contra, all that, even before this, early '80s, because a deal was made to get the hostages, you know, the Shah and all that in Iran, and that transition period between the election in 1980 came about that Reagan and them had made a deal for the release of those prisoners. And then they started, after this, that Iran-Contra crap. All right? And how do you think they funded that? Wow, there's so much wickedness. And yet you find these things out, you try to tell your people, all right, this is, through the Holy Spirit, because a lot of us, well, not a lot, but enough of us are waking up to what has been going on and what is continuing to go on. And your people are just in such a, well, they're just blind. And we know that's done. Well, let's get that scripture. It's no coincidence that that's happening, because the Most High wanted it that way. This is Romans 11. All right. The heading, Israel is not cast away. And yet, Christians, that's the whole, let's see. Here it is. It's Romans chapter 11, verse 7. It says, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. All right. It says, according as it is written. All right. The Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. All right. And David saith, let their table be made a snare. He's talking about his own people here. And a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back always. All right. So that's these people in these churches, and they're worshiping so-called white Jesus. And they're just, on that hamster wheel, for lack of a better description. It says the legislation which passed with bipartisan support and was signed into law by former President Reagan included a provision that considered crack cocaine to be significantly worse than powder cocaine, which led to the disproportionate punishment of African Americans. The law included a 5-year minimum sentence for trafficking 500 grams of powder cocaine or 5 grams of crack. According to the Post, it came to be known as the 100-to-1 rule. Biden disavowed the bill 16 years later, according to the newspaper, saying the road to hell is paved with good intentions. He also distanced himself from the legislation on the campaign trail, calling it a profound mistake that he wanted to override. And yet, Judge Joe Brown just came out in a video letting you know that that's bullshit, that he, as far back as 72, all right, was familiar with this racist MF, all right? So that's bullshit. Like I said, the damage has been done. It's irreparable, all right? But see, they want to look at themselves as, patting themselves on the back. Oh, you poor Negroes, and you're the ones that did it, all right? And again, a lot of our people are going to fall for this. They always do. Let's see if they got any comments here. Probably not. I always like to try to check that note. So here's the thing. You got all these sightings, and these people are scared shitless because, like I said, Revelation 12:12 says, well, let's get it. He knoweth that he hath but a short term. And you got all this thing, and trust me, these are all this is connected. All right, he's trying to hurry up and get his wicked ass kingdom set up, his new world order. All right, but we already know through the scriptures it's not going to work. All right, So this is Revelation 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." And I always pose this question to anyone listening. We know what this devil did in order to establish his country and wherever he is established in the world, how he came about that. All right, rape, robbery, murder, etc. So common sense should lead you to ask the question, say, well, what do you think he's going to do in order to keep it or try to keep it? And that's why I always make reference to Daniel 12 and 1. There's a reason that that is there, because it's going to get so bad. All right, and let's get, especially for us, this is, let's see, 16. Let's scroll all the way down. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 7. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Most High. They shall be like madmen," talking about these Edomites, the so-called white people, "sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Most High. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." For all of you that are resting on your leaves, you've got this big old house, you got your cars, kids in school, or they might even be grown, and you might even be empty nesters, whatever. All right, but you think you're established and you're just trying to wait things out. Oh, no, 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 no. That's Zephaniah, the 1st chapter. It says, "For they shall," 72 again, "for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire." Because that's another thing that this is about too. These Christians like to always say, "I'm saved, I'm saved." What have you been through? You think this little bit that times haven't gotten hard yet? I'm saved, I'm blessed. Okay. And let me tell you something else, especially these women. Oh, are they going to, and rightfully so, oh, are they going to catch hell? And me personally, it's going to be beautiful to see. All right, so let's see. These Democrats, you need to understand. When I look at them, this is an old series I used to look at back in the day, back in the 90s. When I see people like Biden, I'm thinking like this. You just see those demons in them. Here we go. This is called Poltergeist, The Legacy. I used to like this show.
Welcome home.
Watch your face.
Where am I? Why have you brought me back?
A simple plan for you.
Derek Rain.
In time. There are other things to attend to first. How do you feel?
Excellent.
There you go.
Considering I've been to hell and back.
See, that's just it, these two parties, they come at you generally in two different ways. They're both against us. The Republicans, they let you know up front, we don't like you niggers, all right? We're not going to give you shit. On the flip side, you got these Democrats, the so-called liberals. They give you all the rope and everything you need in order to destroy yourself. That's just the way they are. Point being, Neither one is for us. But they sucker so many of our people into dividing themselves amongst the two parties. You know, why just this two-party system? It's reflective of ancient Rome. All right, where you had with the plebeians and hold on, I don't want to mess it up. Patricians, I think. Hold on. Let's see, how is that spelled? Yeah, here it is. Patricians and plebeians. All right. Patricians, of course, the Roman citizens were divided into two classes: plebeians and patricians. Patricians were the upper class. Guess who those are? They were the wealthy landowners. The plebeians were the lower class. They included everyone who was not a patrician. See, there you go. They revived Roman Empire, that deadly wound that was healed. What do you think that's talking about? All right, so that's basically it. Actually, I was going to go, before I close, into Job, because I had mentioned earlier about, you know, the timing of all of this. And this goes into Job 20th chapter, and verse 5 talks about that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. And this devil knows that. Let's see. Here it is, verse 10. It says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. All right. It says, verse 15, it says, he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Vomiting is a violent act. For all of us that have done that, you should know that. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asp. The viper's tongue shall slay him. All right. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey, and the butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Because what? Like the apostle said, you know, we want true reparations. True reparations is Revelation chapter 13, verses 9 and 10. All right? I don't want your fucking money. All right? Because it doesn't mean anything. It says, because he hath oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not. All right? Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And that wicked there is the same that it's in the New Testament in James. All right. He's talking about the common man, a laborer, all those that he's defrauded, as it says in James. All right. So you think of the book of Obadiah. It talks about this devil and his end. You know, his rise, his pride, what he did to his brother Jacob, to us, and the consequences for that. And then his end. He's going to be gathered together after 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, and he's going to be burnt up. He's the only nation that's going to be eradicated from the face of the earth. All right. Verse 23, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, because he thinks once he gets this, well, he thinks, first of all, he's going to establish his new world order. All right. But this is verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. I always like to envision, you know, you got these wealthy elites sitting around this huge table with all the elaborate dressings with utensils and everything, and they're getting ready to eat, and then all the doors are kicked in all of a sudden, you know. That's just the way I look at it, you know. Oh no. But in any case, yeah, this is, I'm gonna cut it short here. Uh, but yeah, these devils actually think that at this point it's going to make any type of difference. No, the damage has been done. You can't walk all this. You can't walk this back at all. All these jakes getting out recently that did. One guy in North Carolina, he did 44 years. They paid him for 15 years. They gave him $750,000 because they capped that. And he was like, "How can you put a cap on someone's life? What about the other 29 years I did? You didn't pay me. You put me in prison knowing that I was innocent." And then you got another one that just got out. He did 30 something. You had someone else, like 3 years ago, he got out. He did 40 years almost in Louisiana, in Angola. And they let him out only because he was dying of cancer. And I guess they arranged an interview with the prosecutor that put him away. And the prosecutor was standing before him and was like, he was in a hurry to leave. He didn't, the guy told him, he said, "I can't forgive you for what you did because you knew better." And it wasn't long after that, the guy, just walked out. These motherfuckers, they're beyond, not caring. That's why everything and anything that happens to them, I rejoice. It's so sad. That's why we got to get the hell up out of here. So with that, hey, call hello Yahweh, Shimmy Awashai, Shimmer Kwakadash. Hey, Shalom.